Okay, so we have discussed about inheritance, polymorphism, virtual and abstract classes, constructors, and all, right? So in
Yes.
last class, today we'll discuss about interface. So what is an interface? Interface is just like an abstract class, but in abstract class you can have a, you know, normal method as well as the abstract method. But in interface, you will only have a method like abstract method without body. So in interface, you can't have a method with body. So you will always have only method declaration in interface, right? So for interface creation, we don't have any direct way. So we have to first create an Apex class, then we can convert that into interface. So I'm just giving name as my interface. Interface is again for global declaration. So let's say if you just want your just want a global declaration of your implementation of your project, so you can simply use interface. So that will basically show a global declaration of your architecture, right? So I'm just giving a name as my interface and just hitting OK. So here, just on the class keyword, you can simply type interface. So like this, right? So this can be interface now. So you can simply type interface instead of class, and you can create methods here. Interface method has a special quality. You don't have to declare them as public. So by default, they are public. So you don't have to provide an access specifier here. By default, they are public. So you can simply declare without any access specifier. So we can simply write the method syntax here. What Let's say this method will return string, right? And show high, right? I'm just giving the name as show high, right? And this is the method declaration we have created. And again, integer, one more method, integer sum, right? And this method is taking two parameters, let's say, integer a comma integer b, right? And then you can simply hit save. So you cannot write any method with body here in interface. The method will always be on declaration. So you can simply hit save here, and the class who will inherit this interface, they have to complete these methods, right? So let me just create one more class and we'll implement this. So let's create, I'm just giving name as implementing interface. Interface is here, and just hitting OK. Here you can simply inherit. So here we generally use for inheritance we generally use extends, but here we need to implement it. For interface you will use implements, right? What will you use for interfaces? The keyword is implements, and you can use the name of the interface that you want to implement. And now you have to simply uh, complete all the methods. How will you do that? You can simply complete. So this is how you can implement interfaces, and you can call many interfaces by just using comma. here, right? So I'm just clicking on save, and you can simply run this class to run the interfaces. You can simply create an object of the class. You know rest of the process, right? So interface is nothing, just a global declaration. So if you want to make a global declaration of your architecture for easy maintainability, then you can use interfaces, right? So now you can use a method here. So you can see hi is now printed, right? Is it clear for everyone?
Pratik, for interface, the class which is extending a particular interface for that class, each and every method that is present in interface, that class should have its definition. It's compulsory.
Absolutely, yeah, it's compulsory. So if you, let's say if you will comment this some
Integer
method,
some.
right?
Okay.
Then it will throw you an error. It won't allow you to save it, right?
Okay.
So you
Okay.
have to implement each and every method. See, class implementing interface must implement the method integer my interface dot
Okay.
sum, right? So each and every method should be implemented by the child class that is in that is
Mm-hmm.
implementing that interface.
Yes.
Anyone else have any question? Guys, interface is clear for everyone or not?
Yes.
Sir, it is clear, but I want to know about its application and why it is needed.
Simple. It is very simple. Let's say I gave you an example in last class regarding that website, right? That is having a different interfaces, different layout, and based on the class. So right now, let's say I have a utility method here. I don't know what will be the body of that particular method, or you can say, uh, let's say product, right? This method is product, and I'm implementing this class product, right? And this class is returning product as let's say shoes, right? And I have one another class, uh, my second class, right? And it is also implementing, right? In this class, what I will do, I will implement again the same method, right? And now I'm just, let's say, giving t-shirts, right? So what happens, right? Let's say if I will call this particular class my second class, then I will get the output as t-shirt. But if I will call this class, I will get output as shoes. So whenever I need the output as shoes, I will call this class. And whenever I need the output as t-shirt, I will call this class. So I know my declaration is global now. The product is global because we are using multiple product. And based on our requirement, we are changing the product based on the class. And this particular class will be called by interfaces just to get all the information related to shoes, right? That is why we use this. Is it clear for you now? Just for a global declaration, we are not doing anything specific. Just for a global declaration, we are using this interface, right? So
Yes.
some architecture, right? So in going forward, you will see there are a lot of things. Those are those are fixed. So let's say we have a thing called batch class, right? In batch classes, we have an interface called batchable. I'm just giving you an example, right? So what is a batch class? Batch class is basically for a bulk processing of your records. So in Salesforce, we have a different governor limits, right? So if you are processing a large data set, so you will get lot of governor limits, right? But using a batch class, you can run your data processing your data processing into chunks, into batches, right? And in that batch class, for implementation of a batch class, you need to implement an interface called batchable. And this particular batchable method, batchable interface has three methods: start, execute, and finish. So these three methods, everyone who is implementing the batchable interface, he needs to finish these three methods, right? And these three method has a different logics. So in start, you need to pass the query by which you will get the data for execution. Okay, and in execute method, you will write the complete logic related to that execution. And in finish method, if you want to send an email to you and any other guy, right? Just to give them information that this particular execution is completed, right? So they have divided the complete process in three parts. So they have created a interface so that everyone is aware how they can write a batch class, and they are aware like how they can divide the process into three parts: start, execute, and finish. So they have already created these method without body, right? So you need to just pass the body based on your requirement. So let's say in start method, they know, right, you need to pass the query, but they don't know like on which object you want to perform the operation, right? So you can perform the operation on account, contact. Everybody has his own requirement, right? So based on your requirement, you will use start method. Same, the logic can be logic will always be different for different customer, and the finish will always different, but the name and the purpose of methods is same, right? So that is already declared in that interface, and everybody who wants to create a batch class, they can simply inherit this batchable interface, and they can start working on these three methods. Is it clear now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.
So simply, it is a global declaration. You are just getting an idea, right? So like what you need to write, why you are implementing that interface. So basically, somehow you are just restricting your class to just implement these interfaces for your purpose, whatever the purpose you are writing.
Pratik, like,
Mhm.
can you explain batchable with an example?
Batchable will study in a great detail,
Okay,
right? So this is our topic, right?
okay,
I was just giving you in context of the interface.
okay,
Okay.
okay,
Batchable will study in complete detail.
okay. And like Pratik, interface and abstract class are the same, right?
In abstract class, you can write normal methods,
But in interface we can't.
but in interface you can't.
Yeah,
Abstract class, you have to make your method public manually, but in interface it is by default public,
public. Okay,
right? You can inherit multiple interfaces into a Apex class, right?
okay,
For multiple inheritance.
okay. Like,
You can't perform multiple inheritance using abstract class,
okay,
right?
okay.
Okay.
Cool, guys. So this is interface. Now you have different things like the conditional statement, loops in your programming. So how many of you are not aware about if else conditions and the loops? For loops we have while loop, for each loop. Anyone in the class is not aware about all these things? Anyone? Everybody is aware about all these things, right?
Hmm.
Yes,
Guys,
sir.
just say
Yes,
if
sir.
somebody is not aware, just say it, right? Okay, let's just discuss. So I will ask one by one. So what is a conditional statement we have? Anyone?
Conditional statement which will use to terminate a loop, which will verify each and every uh, element in the loop. If it matches the condition, it will proceed.
Anyone else?
So,
Right.
according to me, it is somewhat like an expression along with any operator
Uh-huh.
to which we check. Like it can be any condition which we check.
Mhm. Right. Anyone else? You know, everybody has
Conditional
your
conditional
own version of, a
Hello?
conditional statement, right? So just say it.
conditional statement will be a statement followed by another statement which will be executed if the conditional statement is true or false, depending
Correct.
upon the.
So in the statement it implements action should be taken either yes or
Right. So just give me a minute. Let me just call it. You know, now we are in actual programming, right? So every time you start something, like, then you have two things, right? Either you will say yes or no. So every time you will work on something, you have a complete flow of that thing. So if it is yes, then I will go this way. If it is no, then I will go that way. So that kind of thing always necessary in programming, right? So let's say if I will say, I'm starting my thing here from here, and if it is yes, then I will go that way, and if it is no, then I will go this way. So let's say if it is, just give me a minute. So if it is yes, then I will do this. And if it is no, sorry, just give me a minute. Your statement, conditional statement here. Conditional statement. So conditional statement can be true or false, right?
Yes.
It is a
yes,
condition. So either it can be true or false,
yes,
right? Like, if I will say, if you will do this, then I will give you this amount. If you will do that, then I will give you another amount, right? So this, it is a condition. So every time when there is a condition, then it can be true or it can be false, right?
false. Yeah.
So let's say if it is true or false, right? If it is true and it is false. If it is true, then you want to do something else. If it is false, you want to do something else, right? So here in programming, we can say execute code block 1, or if it is false, then execute code block 2. Execute code block 2, right?
Yes.
So and so on, right? So it can go longer as well. So you can say, right, if I will write, let's declare some variable. I'm just writing it in a simple way now, right? My expression, right? Whatever the expression I want to test, right? If expression is equals to true, so you can say true block of statement meant, right? And if it is false, I mean else, right? Then false block of statement. of statement. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
There are many other things as well, if else. So we'll discuss that thing as well, and other statements. So let's say, just give me an example, how you can just explain the if else condition with an example. So let's say we have a condition. So we are just having a variable called integer, right? And the variable value is age, right?
Yeah.
Correct. And let's say if is equals to it is less than 10, then system dot debug he is a kid, right? And if age, you can say, greater than 10 and less than 20, then what should you type? Teenager,
Yep.
Yeah.
right? And what else? If age greater than 20 and less than 35, then what will you write? Youth.
Yep.
And if age is greater than 35 and less than 50, what will you write here?
Adult.
Adult, right? And if age greater than 50, then old man, right? How will you write this? Who will tell?
So we
By
start with the
if and
Huh?
If else ladder.
If else ladder, okay.
yeah. So start with
Okay.
the if statement first.
Okay, now age variable is here, right? We have declared a age variable, right?
Yeah.
We will get the value of age variable from where? From our
From
execute anonymous window. We will take it as dynamically, right?
yeah.
Let's just make it as a parameter of a method. Okay.
Yes.
Public string,
String.
right? What you show. I'm just typing show here. And making integer age. And you can simply write if age. So for comparison, what we will use?
Double equal to.
Correct.
Equal to.
Yes.
Because for assignment we use single equals
Single
to,
equal to.
Yes.
and for comparison we will use double equals to.
Not equal to.
Equals to if age equals to
10.
And
but here we won't use equals to, we will use less than equals
Less than
to
equals to.
then equals to
10,
10.
because here we are using greater than 10, right? So less than equals to 10.
Return.
System.debug, or you can say return. We can type return as well, right?
Yeah.
Because we are returning the method return
Yeah.
single quotes.
Kid
He is a kid.
is a kid. Yeah.
And let's just use this method for four times. Now we'll use else if, right?
Else.
If
Yeah.
multiple conditions, then we use else. There is only two conditions, either true or false, then we can simply write else, right? So now else if is greater than 10, and there is one more logical operator we'll use here. What?
double and
double and
double and.
double and nahi, double ampersand, right? Like this, right?
yeah,
And age, what is the next one? Less than 20,
less than
right?
20.
Less than 20, right? Is it clear?
Yes.
yes.
Yes, sir.
Then what will it need to write? He's a
Teenager.
teenager, right?
Yeah,
And again, if age greater than 20 and less than 35, right? If age greater than 20 and less than 35, right? Let me just. Then what we will write?
See, else if it would be not if else.
Yes, sorry. Right? And same
Age
here.
is greater than 35.
If age
Is
what?
greater
Greater
than
greater
than
35.
35,
35.
less than 50.
greater than 35,
We didn't use less than equal to.
because we are using here greater than. So
Okay.
condition, in the condition we are using greater than 35, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
And
less than
is less than 50,
50.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So you can say adult and the same one more condition, right?
Else.
If it is greater than 50,
50.
right? Now we don't need a and condition, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Just type this. So how will you test it?
We have to call the
so we have
class
called the
and
class
Lord. Yeah.
and anonymous window.
Just give me a minute, guys. Somebody is getting error. Okay, so just we can simply create an object of the class of this class, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
And call the method. What is the class name,
loop
Loop
and
and conditional.
conditional statement.
right? And you can simply show. Okay,
Yeah,
just now you need to give the value of this
yes,
value of
Yes.
age variable, right? So let's just give what 30, right? So what it
Yeah.
should print teenager, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
See, he is a youth. Why it is printing youth? Because we have given 30,
30.
Hmm.
right? So you can change the value and check it again. So now I think you are aware what is if else condition. So we have this example now. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
can we write it in a different way with there is one more functionality called switch statement.
Yeah.
So what is a switch statement? And can anybody explain? I just want to write this particular thing into a switch statement. Who will tell how we can write it?
पर लेकिन एपेक्स में तो स्विच स्टेटमेंट यूज
क्या
नहीं
होता है?
करते,
नहीं होते?
यूज
नहीं
नहीं
होते?
करते।
यूज नहीं करते या नहीं होते?
मैंने तो यही पढ़ा है कि नहीं यूज करते हम लोग।
यूज, अरे आई एम आस्किंग, यूज नहीं करते या होते नहीं है, ये बताओ।
We can use it. It should
होता
be
नहीं है एपेक्स में हम।
होता है,
hota. We
right?
can use it.
We can use them, but why we need a switch case? Because for a better you can say the better programming visibility, right? So there is no difference between switch case and if else condition. The only thing is the better programming structure, you can use switch case, and we have switch case in Salesforce. So it is up to you if you want to use it or not, but we have switch case in Salesforce. Okay, so how will you write it? Can anybody explain?
We will use the keyword switch and then we will write our expression.
Okay, then tell me how we can write it. Okay.
But Pratik, in this we have two conditions. Like in switch, we have only a single element and it's integer.
What?
In switch case, we have just a single integer. Like say if switch 10, then
You
like
can
then the
you
kit
can
is
you can use you can use multiple conditions as well.
Mm.
That is not an issue. Yeah, tell me how we
Sir,
can
but
write it.
the values that the case hold is, I think,
yeah.
certain values it holds.
Okay. I will I will clear all of your doubts. You can use that. Anyone else? Anyone else, guys? Aman, are you joined now? He's joining. Just give me a minute. Anyone else? Guys, switch case. Can anybody else tell me?
Sir, switch case is a conditional statement like in which we have certain set of condition. In order, we use it as a case and then execute some set of statement which we want to. It is followed by each break statement. Like for
Okay.
a particular case, something will be executed and then we have to break it. Otherwise, if we don't use the break statement, it will execute the other statements as well.
So by using switch statement, we can compare a variable or expression value with multiple branches, I think.
In
Uh,
switch.
if any of the branch value is not matching with the expression, then we can execute the default block statement.
Okay.
So we write with the switch age, and then when the age is this, we can print case one. Yeah, we put a condition here.
Yes.
Its syntax is little bit changed in other programming languages.
Just give me a minute. Huh? We can write it in another way. I'm just thinking. Just give me a minute.
केस 1 to 20 ऐसा नहीं हो सकता?
Yeah, it will. There is
हाँ.
one more condition, we can use when in switch case. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking like we will use when in switch case, right? So we can simply write it like
सर
in
इसमें when
okay. I'm just checking if we can use when here or not. In JavaScript we can do that.
We can use when, I think.
Let me
सर
just check.
इसमें स्विच और एज के बीच में एक वो सिंटैक्स का ये ऑन भी आएगा.
Yeah, switch on.
Just give me a minute, guys. So for loop, basically we need a loop just to get all the value in a list, set, or anything, right? So we have three type of loop: while loop, do while loop, for loop, and we have a extra type of loop that is called collection loop, right? In other programming language like .NET, it is also called as for each loop, right? So let's just discuss while loop. What is a while loop, right? So I'm just declaring one scenario here. Let's say I have a variable called integer, right? And I'm just typing integer count equals to, right, 0, right? And I just want to print hello at 15 times. Then I need to write system.debug for 15 times. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Right. So let's say, let me just open execute anonymous here. Will not you type that in the class. So let's say I have to type debug. My keyboard is giving me a lot of pain now. Hello, right? So
Yeah.
if I need to type the hello at 20 times, or you can say 1,000 times, then you have to write this statement at 1,000 times. But you can do that without writing it for 1,000 times by using the loop, right? So you can use while loop. So for while loop, what you need to type is you need to declare a variable integer count. Let's say it is starting from 0, right? And you will write a condition called while count less than equals to, let's say 20 times. If you want to type it 20 times, then you can simply write this, right? And you can simply write this logic here, right? So what it is telling you, while count less than 20. So what we need to do here is
Count plus plus.
first count is 0, the condition will be true. This is a condition, right? We are just writing a conditional statement here. So count is a variable, count less than 20, because the first time the value of count is 0, then it will come here, it will type hello, right? And then we will increase the value of count so that it will increase, it will reach till 20, right? So you can simply type count plus plus, right? So what is the meaning of count plus plus? It will increase count by 1.
Count by 1.
Or you can say, write it in any other way as well, like plus equals to 1.
Yes.
Is that also okay?
Yes.
Right? It is
Can
the
we
same
write plus
statement.
one?
Sorry?
Can we write just plus one? It will accept.
Count plus 1 you can also write, right? Plus equals to 1 and count plus 1 will also work, right? Okay. It is increasing the count by 1, right? So now if you will execute this, you can see it hello is printed 20 times now, right? But guys, in a loop there are three things that you need to remember: the initial value from which the starting point of the loop, the ending point of the loop, and you need to remember to increase or decrease the loop value, right, in which loop is working. Okay guys, so you just need to remember three things: the starting point, the ending point, and increasing or decreasing of the loop variable, right? These are the three things you need to remember. There is no difference in any other loop. You are just differentiating how you are declaring all these three values, the starting point, ending point, and the increasing or decreasing variable, right? Loop variable. So like if you will want to use a for loop for the same, so what you can do here is you can simply write it in this way. The for is the keyword. You can simply start it from integer,
Teaser.
right? And here I'm just declaring the integer variable starting from 0,
0.
semicolon, till when it should go, right? It should
Yes.
go I less than equals to 20,
Doesn't exist
right?
20.
And
I plus
I plus plus. So basically we are just increasing into the same. So how it will execute? It will execute like this. First, it will check if the value of I is 0, right? It is the starting point, right? So the value of I is now declared as 0. Then this is the conditional statement that will be checked every time the loop is executing. So now it is executing I less than equals to 20, 0 is less than 20. Yeah, it will execute, right? So let me just copy this here and just removing this code from here. Now after execution, it will go to here in the last, and it will increase the value of I plus plus 1 by 1. So now the value of I at second time is 1, and it is
1.
less than 20. Yes, and then it will print again I plus plus. Third time the value of I will be 3, right? Sorry, 2. So it will go like this, right? So you can simply check till the time the value of I is not greater than 21. It greater than 20, then it will print till that time it will print the hello. Is that clear, guys?
Yes,
So
sir.
now these are the common variables that everybody has studied till now, but now we have a different type of loop in Salesforce. It was in .NET as well. So let's say I have a list here. This particular loop will only work on collections, right? So let's say if I have a list of string here, where list equals to new list. And I'm just adding some values here in the list. Kind of. I'm just typing 1, 2, 3, 4 here, right? I just want to go through with this loop, right? So you can simply write another kind of loop, for, right? So if you are working on a list, then you have to declare a variable. The loop variable is always necessary, right? So what kind of list it is? String type of list, right? Then we need to declare a loop variable as a string, because we need a same kind of variable to iterate that. Okay, so now we need a string variable here, let's say string a, then the colon and the collection on which you want to run the loop, right? So like this. So here you don't have to specify any kind of last value or anything till the time this particular list is having value, this particular loop will execute, right? So you don't have to check size or anything. It will automatically stop when we'll have this particular value.
Okay.
This particular list is having value, right? So let's say you just want to print all the value that you have in the list. So system dot debug, and you can simply, you know, just print the value a, right? Okay, just run it. So this particular loop will execute till the time that particular list is having value. You can see here all the values of that particular list is now printed, right?
Okay.
So this is
Okay.
called as collection variable, right?
Basically, it's a kind of for each loop, right?
Yes, it's same for each loop that we have in .NET, right?
Yeah,
But it is not called as for each loop here
it's
in
called
Apex.
for.
It is called as collection loop,
Okay.
right? So you can see here, you can simply, so let's say if this particular list is of account type, I'm just giving you an example. Account is an S object, right?
Yes.
If it
Yes,
is,
sir.
is this, but then you have to type, declare a variable here as account.
Account.
Okay, guys,
Yep.
clear?
Yes.
Hai? Now we have two more thing, continue and what else? Break,
Break.
right? Continue and break. So what is the meaning of continue and what is the meaning of break? Who will tell?
Sir, I know about break statement that it just breaks the compilation of the execution of the next line. That if certain cases match, then it execute that statement only and not allows to execute further statements. That's why we use break statement.
Right. So integer, let's say I'm just declaring a loop here. Integer I is equals to 0, right? And here I less than equals to 20, right? And uh, I plus plus, okay? But I just want to execute this loop till the value of I is 15, or you can say the 5. So what we can do here is if I equals to 15, then what we can do here is we can write break,
Break.
and here after this we are just typing system dot
System.debug.
debug. Let's say I'm just typing printing I, okay? So what will it do? Can anybody explain?
It will
It
print till
type the
15.
and then go to next line.
It will come.
See 14,
Okay.
right? Why?
We have put
Because
equal
Then
to.
we break it.
at the time of 15 we have
Yeah.
break it. So if you
But-
want to break the loop on any condition, right? So if you want to break the loop on any condition, then what you can use? Break statement. Okay?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And what is continue? So let's say if you just want to skip 15, you want to print all the value from 0 to 20, but you just want to skip value 15, then you can simply write continue, right?
Okay.
Continue is just to skip a particular value, right? Just see. Can we have 15 here?
No.
No, sir.
Right? Because we have skipped it by using continue statement. Clear,
Yes.
guys?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we can simply use continue just to skip a particular value. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Clear?
Yes.
So now we are done with basic programming, right? So let's start SOQL and SOSL. Guys, how many of you are aware about database?
So not completely.
Just know the introduction.
Not complete.
Only introduction.
Yes. Like.
Yeah. What kind of?
Today we'll discuss the intro of SOQL and SOSL. Tomorrow we'll go in deep. Okay?
Yep. Makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So let's
sir.
just start SOQL. I will ask one by one who have already studied about it. Himanshi, what is SOQL? You are
Sir,
on mute.
structure.
Yeah.
Structure query language. Structure object query language.
Structured object query language. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is Salesforce object query language?
Yes, it is Salesforce object
Salesforce
query
object query
language,
language.
Yes, sir.
right? And what is the use of SOQL?
Just to recall
DML operation.
any data from the database while you are running any code, or like you fetch any name from the account and you use that language.
Himanshi, SQL was called as a structured query language, but Salesforce team has changed its
Yes.
name now, right? Salesforce object
Yes.
query language. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Then now, as first we will discuss how we can use SOQ, and tomorrow we'll discuss a different type of best practices used in SOQL. Okay. So let's say you have a different tables in Salesforce, but you can't just see them, right? All the Salesforce database is managed by salesforce.com only, right? But you can query the data, right? You can always query the data from database, right? So you can write different queries just to get the data. So let's say I just want to get how many accounts we have. I just want to print all the accounts. So let me just show you. We'll do different practicals. So I can see I have account.
So your voice is lagging.
Is it fine now?
Yeah.
Much better.
Okay. So you can see I have 12 accounts here.
Okay.
Right? I just want to query all these accounts and print it by using the system.debug statement.
Yeah.
How will you do this?
You can
We need to fetch
Right.
data from accounts table.
Absolutely.
name and ID.
Right? So it is a collection of data. Then where you will store it?
Data
In a
table.
list.
In a list.
In a
A
list.
list, right? So let's
Yeah.
just declare a list here.
List of account.
List of
Account.
Yeah. Maybe a CC or anything, any variable.
Where list equals to.
yeah,
So basically we are assigning
Yeah.
some data here, right? So you
Yeah.
can simply declare, you can simply use these braces, right? Just to write your query.
Yeah.
So you will always write your query in between these braces, right? Okay. Then what is the syntax of a query? Syntax is pretty much different, right? There is a select statement here,
Yeah.
and all your field names, or you can say column name, whatever. And then we have from, right?
Object.
And again you need to pass
Object.
object name here,
object.
from which you want to get the data, right? And we have, if there is any conditional data, right, then we have to pass where and your condition, right? So this is how
Yeah.
we will write. We have another things as well, group by, order by, all these things we will discuss one by one. Okay. So for now, select field name from object name where condition, right? So this is the format of
Sir,
writing a query here.
Yes, sir. If you are writing like a condition, so is that mean like the parent-child relationship in?
No. Condition is something. Let's say I want the account in which we have billing state as NC only,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
So the query should only retrieve the data in which billing state as NC. So we need to type where billing state equals to NC, right? So that is the condition.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Makes sense.
So now you need all the fields name, right, that you want to retrieve. Here in Apex programming, you will always use the API name of the field, right?
Yes.
The field name here,
Yeah.
or API name. This is called as API name. In custom, you will always see it as an API name. Okay.
Yes.
So here there is one more thing, guys, you can use. There is a tool called Workbench.
Yeah.
Workbench.developerforce.com. Workbench.developerforce.com, right? So you can use this tool to construct your query as well. If you don't know what all are the fields fields name because you need to copy and paste it again and again from your org. So what you can do is you can simply open this workbench.developerforce.com. You can in dev.org you have to log in as production, right? But if you are working on live environment, so you can either choose sandbox or production based on your requirement, right? So I'm using production for dev.org. Log in with Salesforce. We have already logged in here, so we don't have to pass the username and password again. We can simply use allow because we are using auth here. We'll study what is auth in integration. So now you are logged in here, so you can simply see the actions you can perform. So these all are the actions you can perform using Workbench. So what we are doing currently, SQL query, right? And you can simply select the object in which you want to perform the SQL query and simply select, right?
Yep.
So here you will see all the fields, those are exist in account object, right? So you can simply select what all are the field you want. Let's say I want billing city, billing address, ID, and name, phone, reading. So let's say these are the fields I want to just get from the database, right? So you can see the query is constructed now. Select statement, all the fields separated by commas from the object name. If you want to add any kind of filter, you can add it from here. You can simply select, let's say active equals to true, false, whatever you want to pass, right? So as soon as you will add a filter here, that filter will be added as a where condition here. So you can simply copy the query from here. You can also execute your query just to check the data that is coming or not. So you can simply execute and you can see the data is coming here. Okay. So you can simply copy this here. Copy and paste it here. So we have the complete data now, right? How will you print it? You can simply print it.
System.debug.
System.debug. Where list.
Data is printed, right? So these are the things that we have printed. Billing city, if something is null, then it is showing as null, right? So but you can see the data is printed. Clear, guys?
Yes.
Now you can come again here. So let's say if you want to access one by one, let's say you just want to change some kind of or updates any kind of record from account, then you can simply put a loop on where list, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Or you want to print it one by one. So what you will use for what type of list it is? It is an account type, right? Account variable, and then simply you can use where list, and you can simply print A. Let's say you only want to print name.
A.name.
Right? So you can simply write A.name. A dot, and you can access all the fields of A, right? So you can simply execute it. See, all the account names are here, right?
Yes.
One more thing, guys. Now, can you see it? We are just using this variable just to get the data from just to store the data that is coming directly from the database.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is it always good? Because it is now in the memory. This particular variable is now consuming the memory, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Clear, guys?
Yes.
This particular variable is now consuming the memory, right? Then it can cause a particular error that is called heap size limit.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
In Salesforce, it is 6 MB for a synchronous process, 12 MB for asynchronous. As we'll discuss that in detail, right? So you can simply write this query directly in the loop. This particular query is returning list. That is why we are able to assign it into a list. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
The
Yes.
return type of this query is what? A list.
A list.
Right, guys? The
Yep.
return type of this query is list. That is why we are able to assign it directly into a list variable. Otherwise,
Yes.
it should throw an error. So if you will use any integer variable, will it allow to assign it?
No.
No, sir.
If we will use like this, so it will throw an error. Sorry. If we will do like this, illegal assignment from a list account to an integer. So it is confirmed now this is returning a list of account. The query is returning a list of account, right? Am I right, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
So now what you can do here is you can simply write this query directly, because now this is also a list. And if it is returning a list of account, then there is no sense to just use it. You
Okay.
can directly use it like this.
Okay.
Right? So this will save the memory that was consumed by where list. Am I right or wrong?
Yep. Makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Data will be accessed, but it will not be again stored in your computer memory or server memory. Right? The execution of data is fast now, because in the previous example, what it was doing, it was just querying the data, storing in the where list, then again it was running through the where list again using a loop.
Okay.
Right
Hmm.
now
It's
all the things are in these statements. So now you can directly run that. See,
Yes.
names are printed now.
Yes.
Clear, guys?
Yes.
So every
Okay.
time we run a query, so this is the right method to, optimize
If
that, man.
see now there are two things, right? So
Okay.
if you need to use it anywhere else. So if you are just declaring this variable just to store this data for this for loop,
Yeah.
then this is not the way to use it. You can directly use the query like this. It is always the best practice to use the query like this only, just
Okay.
to avoid heap size limit. But in another case, you want this particular list data to be to to be used in a different business logic, right?
Yeah.
For that kind of thing, you need to if you will use like this, then you have to again requery that data for that logic. So it is always better to query it first time and store it in a variable and you use it multiple times. But if it is only used here only, then it is always better to use the query in the loop only.
Okay, sir.
So
Okay.
if you have to operate any DML operation, then you have to create a list, or if you directly
We'll discuss, Randeep. We'll go one by one. Okay.
Hmm.
We'll do that thing as well.
Okay.
Okay, so now you can see the query you can execute like this. So let's say I just want to get the data in which let's say what should I do? Let me just check. The billing state is CA.
Okay.
What
Okay.
you will do?
You put a condition where
Where billing state equals to CA.
yeah,
So you can simply write where
where billing state.
billing state
Bill.
you won't get a billing state here like this. Let's see if we will get it here. See,
Yeah.
billing state. So you can
Billing.
simply get the name of the column like this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
Just
sir.
execute it again.
It works.
See,
Yeah.
we have only
Yes.
two,
Gene
Jane
sign.
point, and the second one is as force, right? And both are printed here. Okay. So what is the where condition here?
The billing state.
So it will also print the related things like, to that object as well. Like,
What kind of related list?
okay, just no. I was actually confusing in that, like, since like in Salesforce, every contact is related to, different objects like opportunities and all.
Yeah, that will also be printed, right?
That is
We'll discuss
software.
that as well.
Okay.
Parent to child, child to parent. We'll discuss both.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now we are just checking the normal query.
Oh yeah, yeah.
right? Okay, guys.
Yes,
So
sir.
you can simple add multiple where conditions as well. So let's say billing state equals to CA, and you can add one more condition. What else? And the phone number equals to this, or you can say the name equals to Jane point. You can add condition here. Name equals to Jane point.
Yeah.
So now it will
Only show the Jane point as CA. Comment.
you can see the Jane point is only printed here because we have put in the condition on name, right?
Yes.
Here. Or if I will write or here, then what will happen?
Both will print
Both.
Jane point
Right?
and
Either or condition true, then display.
Right?
yes.
Either first is true or second is true, both will display, right?
Yeah.
Or if you put that bill city is equals to null or CA, then which one you gonna pick?
Sorry? If
If you write that bill city is equal to CA
uh-huh.
or equals to null, I want the entry
both.
CA or
Either it is CA or null, both will be printed.
okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So, and what else? Where
Uh,
uh-huh.
in list type, we have specified the type of the list as an account, right?
In list type,
The type variable which you have commented. Here the type of the list is account.
uh-huh.
Like how we have specified it to be account. Like I haven't get that.
Account, like if you want to store, because list we have a variable type called as object, right?
Object, yes.
Yes. So account is an object. So we can simply use account as a type of the list, because we are just storing the data for account, right? This list is returning the account data. The complete data is an account type. So we can simply store the data. We need to store it into a account type of list, right? So any object, either it is a standard object or custom object, can be passed in a type of the list,
Okay.
right? So
Okay.
either it is account, contact, opportunity, any object.
Okay.
If it is a custom object, then you will pass with __ C. Okay.
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 And so there are some wildcards. The contains statement or the like statement. I will ask one by one, right? So we'll ask with whom, right? So let's start with Himanshi, right? So Himanshi, just tell me, I want all the account in which the account name is starting from G.
Sir, we can use like
Where
person,
name,
like
like,
name, like percent.
% पहले लगेगा बाद में?
सर
बाद में
पहले लगेगा
बाद में।
जी।
अगर पहले चेक करना होता है तो बाद में लगता है, बाद में चेक करना होता है तो पहले
पहले
लगता है,
लगता है।
right? So what we will do, either we will include it in a single quotes or not.
No.
Yes.
sir.
Yes, single quotes.
Yes, sir.
Single
Like
note.
will use like this or not,
String है तो सर single quote लगेगा। Yes,
right?
it's correct.
Is it correct now?
Yes.
So what we are doing currently, we are just printing all the accounts in which the name is starting with a character called G. So how many accounts we have with starting by G? Grand Hotel and Jane Point, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So will it print both? Just check. See? Right? Clear? So you can add as many
Yes.
character you want here. Right? So let's just take another example. So I just want to print the account that those are having the last character as E. Are we having multiple account? A. So let's say A. So how will you write the query? So we'll do like this, right? Am I right, guys?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So it will print like this. See, both the accounts are coming as the last character as A, right,
Yes.
guys?
Yes.
Yes.
One more thing. So I want all the account in which this particular character called ampersand is exist. The account name is contained as ampersand. Will it work or not? I don't know. We need to use character escaping or not for this ampersand. Let's just try it. But for contains, we need to use double percentage from beginning and end both. Okay?
Yep.
It is working. See, these are the 4 accounts in which we
Yeah.
are using ampersand as a contain statement. Okay?
Yes,
So if
sir.
you want to check something as contain, so you can use percentile statement in both sides, first, second, both. Okay,
So
guys?
one question here. If you want to pick any, like you got 100 entries and you want to pick the name with a common surname,
You can simply do that, right?
we do
So
that with it.
C, communication, logistic, anything. Let's say oil, the contains with oil. So we have 3 record with oil as a contain. So instead of ampersand, you can simply type oil here like this.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
basically any single word, single character, anything you can check as in contain. See,
Okay.
all the 3 records are printed here. So these are called as wildcards, like statement. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And we have two more statement, in and not in. Who will tell me, right? How will you use? What is the use case of in and not in? We have 2 statement, in and not in. Tell me, guys.
In a set of values.
Set of values, yes.
Actually, in is used to check the set of values if the data we are fetching is in a particular set of values or not.
Correct. So we have used and earlier, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, guys. Will it work or not?
Hope so.
Yes. Sir.
So what it is telling? It is printing all the accounts name in which billing state is CA and NY, right? So in is basically checking multiple condition with a single statement, right? So here you can see we have only 3 accounts, with one with NY, 2 with CA, this one and this one, right? Is it clear, guys? You
Yes.
can check multiple condition without using and, by just passing the comma, using in. In keyword is very useful in Salesforce, right? You will always use in keywords.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, guys?
Yes. Sir.
Always use in keyword.
But in this case, like CA
Clear?
or
In this,
like in this, like CA or NA, we also can use that or statement in that one. I was like guessing.
Likewise.
If you
in
put
keyword
like
is
or,
basically, in keyword is basically work as an in. AND statement.
Okay.
Right? Because it will always check in means CA and NY both will be included, right? And in the same way, if I will type not in here, then what will use? What will happen?
It will not show.
It will not.
Exclude.
Exclude those
Except
NY
all
and
these three accounts, it will print every account,
of the
but it
count.
won't print all these three accounts, right? United Oil Gas Corp and Jana Point and this Asforce, these three will be excluded. You can see the Jana Point is not here. United Oil is, what else? United Oil and Gas Corp is not here, right? It is
Yes.
Gas UK. It is not Gas Corp, right? So you can see here. So these three are excluded and it will print each and every other. Okay, guys. So in not in is clear.
Yes.
And one more statement.
Pratik, your
Order
voice is
by.
lagging.
Voice.
What is order by? Who will tell? What is order by?
Sorting basically.
Sorting of this list.
Okay, and you have to pass on which basis you want to sort, right?
Yeah.
So let's just discuss something else before order by, right? So now we are just checking if it is CA, right? Billing state equals to CA or in, not in, whatever it is, right? Let's just discuss something else here. Okay, guys. So now we are just checking billing state equals to CA. But sometimes what happens, you don't want to hard code this value, right? So what you will do is you will declare a string variable. Let's say billing state, billing st equals to, I just want to type here as CA and I just want to use this variable here. How we will use it? Can we use like this?
Colon.
We need to use colon as well, right?
Yes.
Just remember, we always use colon before the binding variable. This is called as binding variable, right? This is called as binding variable. So you can simply use like this. So it will only print two accounts, Jana Point and Asforce. See? So you can simply use this as well. Okay? Clear, guys?
Yes.
Let's say I have a list here. So if I have a remove list, I have a set of a string and where set equals to new set of string. How we will use this list as an where condition of for billing state? Can we use like this?
Yes.
Who said yes? Himanshi. Think once
I think
more.
we should use in because it's
Absolutely, right? Because it is containing multiple values, right? Equals to can only be used for a single value. Right? If it was a single variable, then you can use equals to, but if it is a set of variables, set of values, then you need in. Everything will remain same, only you will use in, right? Just check. Now it will print 3 account
It will
missing
give
closing quotes on its string
errors.
where we are.
And
Okay,
after
sorry,
NY.
sorry. Guys, did you get the importance of in now?
Yes, sir.
Right? So this is the importance of in. This particular thing you will always do every day in programming. You will always have a set and you need to check that set value in as a in statement into a query. This will be your daily task. Right? So let's say I have a set of IDs. Right? I have a set of IDs. I'm just giving you an example. How will you do this? Let's say I have a set of IDs, right?
Yes.
And I have things like this. I'm not making any best practice or any programming here. I'm just telling you how will you use it in a longer term, right? Let's say you have something like this. Dot add a dot ID, right? And here you can simply print. I just want to get all the account in which ID in var set. Did you understand the thing now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right? So this kind of thing you will always do. Clear, guys?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. We have some more functions that you can use in query. Though there was not a bad practice
Sir,
to using
sir,
them.
just to see, can you execute this program?
Oh, yeah, we can execute.
Okay. Yes.
Let me just check all the functions. So you can use count. You have different functions. So you can see here. You will get all the functions here. The count. What is count? Simply the count from account. So what it will fetch you.
Total results. Total number of rows.
Total number of accounts.
accounts.
Total number of
Count.
accounts, right?
Account. Yeah.
Just give me a minute. Right? How many
Yes.
records we have?
12
And
records.
You can also write this query directly. So guys, one thing I just want to ask you. So you can see here earlier what this query was returning, the list of account, but what it is returning now.
It's a number.
Null.
it's a number.
Number,
No,
but
Integer.
like
integer.
Right?
Yes.
Integer. So
integer.
will it run like this?
No.
No, sir.
Right?
Basically
Loop
a
must
count.
iterate over collection, right? It is
Yeah.
it. That is why we called this particular loop as an collection loop. This query will only return a single integer value. So you can simply do like this. For this particular query, you can simply do like this. Integer a equals to and this query.
This query, yeah, because it's a single query, yeah.
Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely.
It ran right. We haven't used system.debug, so it won't print anything, right? If you want to print it, you can simply print A and the result will be 12. Okay, guys. So the same way we have different type of aggregate functions. One is average, count, what else? Min
Max.
max, and sum. These are the common functions, right? So we'll discuss tomorrow all these functions, right? So what is the use case of these functions, and we'll also give you the solution of that switch case thing, right? We'll write it in my free time today. Okay, so these are the things that you can do. You can simply get run all these aggregate function. We have some more different things, like we will use group by, we will use order by, having, and all this. So guys, we have certain things here in Salesforce that is different from SQL, the structured query language. What all are the different things we have? Can anybody explain? Anyone is aware?
The return type.
Return
mean,
type.
mm, we need to make sure that the list object is returning or integer object is returning.
No. This keyword. Can any one of you are aware about this keyword?
It fetches each and every
Yes, it
data.
fetch all the records.
Fetch all the
You can't,
records.
you can't use it here in SQL.
Yes.
Okay.
So Pratik, like to get each and every data, we need to define that, right?